Hello! Have you ever heard of productive procrastination? Do you procrastinate and want to learn a little bit more about things? Then in this video, I'm going to do a makeup tutorial on this eye look, and we're going to talk about productive procrastination. Let's get started. Alright, so I have all of my base makeup on, and I want to do an eye look, but I also want to have a chat about something I call, well, it's an actual concept, but it's called productive procrastination. And so that is what we're going to talk about whilst I do my makeup. So I'm feeling very fall today. It is August 17th, which is actually my son's birthday, his 19th birthday. He is military boot camp, so I can't even speak to him. So I'm doing stuff to sort of, you know, clear my mind of all that because it's very sad. Since it's August for me, already fall starting. I'm obsessed with fall. I love it. And so I'm already like later sun. I want to get my jeans out, my sweaters. I want to get all that out. So because I was feeling fall, we're going to do that type of look. And I want to use this. I got the Huda Beauty Empowered palette. And I got this on, they had this like random one-day deal on Sephora where these palettes were 50% off. I think they're usually like $69 or $64 or something each, and I absolutely love them. But this is just giving me all the fall feels. I got these 50% off, so they're like 30 something dollars. So I did buy I did videos on this, so if it's not up, I will. The Rose Quartz. I bought the Naughty palette. I bought this Empowered, and I already had Mercury Retrograde. I find that her bigger palettes are the way to go. Like that's where the magic happens, as they say. So we're going to do this eye look. I want to try something totally different, so I'm really hoping that I don't screw this up because my base makeup is already done and I already did setting spray. So what are you going to do? I was going to do my lips first. I want to do a matte lip and maybe like a darker lip with something on the lid. For me these days, like I don't really follow any like rules per se, but oftentimes I don't like to wear a dark lip and then a lot on the eyes. You know, it's kind of like, you know, show your legs or show your chest, don't show them both. That's just me personally. Everybody's different. So I want to do something a little bit different and we will see. Some of these are duochromes, which means they shift, and a lot of times these type of shades don't look in the pan as they do in real life. So I want to swatch a couple just to really see, because this one is giving me one of those like purple gold shift situations. I'm not sure how I feel about that. And this one is so weird. It's got like this divot running through it. So I want to try that. That's called Manifest It. Wow, that is soft. Wow. Okie doke. So that's what that looks like. I want to look at the next one that's called Bold Moves, and then also this one. So this one, Bold Moves, and then this one that's called Visionary. Once I see what those look like, then I will be able to see where, I'm already loving it, where I want this look to go to. Oh yeah, that's much different than I thought. Okay. We're going to go with Bold Moves as, I don't know. I want to try something different, so. Alright, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with this shade called Get It. And I'm going to work with these three shades right now. That's what I'm going to work with. So I'm going to be working with Power, Get It, and Best Self. Alright, so I wanted to talk about this because I'm very vocal about having ADHD. And I think that I often talk about it, so it's not like something that people don't know. But a lot of people are always like, how do you get so much done? All that kind of stuff. Partially, it's that ADHD brain. And it really does like work a little differently, obviously, because it's ADHD than other brains. Let's start here. So one of the things I know that I do, because you'll hear a lot, like if somebody has ADHD, that they procrastinate or, you know, they have a hard time getting things done. So true. But for me, I do something called productive or constructive procrastination. I'm going to concentrate this right here because I want to kind of come up this way too. I'm really not sure how this is going to go, so we'll just find out together, I guess. because I have a vision in my mind, but I think I already messed it up by doing this, because I wanted to just concentrate this way. So let's look at the official definition. The official definition of productive procrastination, it's also known as structured procrastination, involves doing beneficial things while delaying doing more important things. For example, a student engages in productive procrastination when they work on a school assignment as a way to postpone studying for a more important upcoming exam. For me, like, my mind is going all the time. And so I do really have to be doing something, but there's times when it's like I don't really want to, or I don't have the capacity mentally to do some tasks, like if they're highly creative and I'm not in a creative mood. That's really difficult for me. So if I'm not going to do the thing that I know that I need to do, I will try to do one of a number of things. So for instance, I put off doing my taxes forever, but what I did do was, when I had time, instead of like doing my taxes, what I did do was I created this like binder system, and I went through every single receipt and put them in this binder. I actually will link it below because it's really cool. It's this big like trapper keeper binder type thing. And then I use these like plastic pouches that have the 3-hole punch. I would put like travel expenses, personal, health, like whatever. And then I went through all of my receipts and put them in this binder. Then I created one for the 2023 by month. And then at the end of the year, I can just easily go in by month, work with my bookkeeper, and then categorize it when I'm preparing my taxes. Okay. So one thing I did was to do sort of the prep work that's going to be necessary to do the taxes. So in my mind, I'm not doing the taxes, but I'm doing all the work to allow myself to do the taxes, if that even makes any sense. I'm really scared to do this, but I'm going to go ahead and take this shade Legacy. I feel like I want to come... I don't know if this is going to look okay. I'm going to wait. I'm going to go in with Best Self all over the lid. So, I don't know, it's almost like tricking myself. It's like I was doing busy work, but like creating those, you know, binders and stuff, it's fun. It doesn't take like a ton of like concentration. In general, you know, I could have like a show on or whatever, be with my partner, be doing that, and still be able to talk with him and stop and go for a walk and do all those things. So I try to do like something like that, meaning I don't want to do the big task, but I'll do something productive that will support the task later, and I'll be happy about it like later, right? But I'm still like in my mind not doing the taxes. And so I don't want to be too monochromatic. I'm going to go under my eyes with this color called Legacy. So that's like one way that I like productively procrastinate. Another way that I often, almost like weekly, productively procrastinate. So I'm concentrating like a lot of this underneath the eye towards the outside, and then I'll blend it in with this brush that I used with the lighter shade on it. See? Then it's not as stark. So another way that I often like weekly productively procrastinate is that I will do another task that does need to be done, but isn't going to take a lot of my mental or emotional toll. So like doing my taxes, it's mostly about me like either not enjoying the task or not understanding the task, or just like feeling like there's other tasks that are really more important than that. This Bold Moves looks very flaky when using a brush. A lot of times these shadows are just way better with your finger. So I'm going to use some setting spray just to lay the foundation on and see what it looks like. And then if I need to go in over top of it with my finger, I will. So what I try to do is, if I'm avoiding something and I'm not going to do any like preparatory work, what I'll do is like, I'll pick another task that needs to be done but doesn't take a lot of like mental focus, and I'll usually again like watch a movie or be talking to my cousin on the phone or something, but always doing something. Her and I talk literally every day, and we either have to be walking or doing other things. I'm just better that way. If I'm not just like sitting there and talking with someone, I'm gonna have to go back in with my finger just because I like the sparkle. I'm gonna bring this all the way into the corner when I'm done. So I have a lot of like inventory that I have to do because my space that I have, my little boutique, is small. I'm always trying to like organize it so that it's most efficient. I've already grown out of the space that I have. So I'm always trying to make sure that how I'm utilizing the space is, you know, most effective as well. So I'm always like playing around with like that. So I'll often do a lot of that, like rearranging, doing inventory, things like that. Because I feel like it's stuff that needs to be done regardless, right? So I don't have like that guilt. People with ADHD often organize, like literally this is August. I've had like 4 different planners already. And they're planners, like 2 of them start in July. And it's August and I already switched. So organizing to get organized is a thing for people with ADHD quite a bit. There's a little bit of fallout on this shade, meaning it'll like trickle down. So either you want to add some, you know, loose powder and tap it underneath your eye here, and then you wipe the powder away with the shadow so it doesn't mess up your makeup, or you just be really, 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 really careful. So if you're not super skilled or newer to eyeshadow, I would put some powder under there. Then you don't have to worry. Or you can always do your eyes before you do your base makeup. But I've just never found that to be like effective. Sometimes it's just like there's so much in my mind and I just need to calm. When I'm like procrastinating and I'm upset, the thing I like to do is clean. And I mean like clean something out. Like I'm gonna go through, you know, the bathroom and all the cabinets and all of the, you know, medicines and checking dates and doing all of that. That really does help to like clear my mind. And it's something that does need to be done. So if you are someone who does like this technique, whether you knew what it was or not, let me know what kind of stuff that you do to like productively procrastinate and if it actually helps you in the long run. I feel like it helps me quite a bit. There's just times when I go through this like, I don't want to do this thing, but I do 20 other things, and then, so I look back and I'm so grateful that I did. Let me go in and put on some eyeliner. I use a ColourPop BFF liner. I always use this. The other thing is like I have stuff on my fingers from using my fingers for my makeup. If you have like, and I don't, like a cotton round or something, or I'm gonna actually use this, which is a beauty blender. And instead of like, so that I can put this on, I'm going to just put this down to hold my eye because I like to pull it like that. Again, that's just how I do it. So instead of putting my finger on my face and risking putting a huge like sparkle print, I just use either a blender or cotton round or whatever. Professional makeup artists do that quite a bit as well. You'll see them rest their hand when they're working on someone's face. I can touch here in the corner because there's already makeup there, so I'm not concerned. I was more concerned down here. So for me, and it's funny because like I talk to my partner a lot about this, and if you're with someone that has ADHD and you don't, I really, really invite you to like find out more about it, because he's often thinking like I'm screwing around or whatever, when I'm really, really not. I'm going to take this shade Visionary, this like marbled shade, and just use it to sort of marry these two colors together. You see what I'm saying? Just so it's not such a harsh, like, he's like, well, you did this whole project and that whole project before you did, you know, the thing that you were supposed to do. And I tried to explain it to him. A, that's how my mind works. And B, sometimes it's like, I'm actually doing the project in my mind. And I get clarity and understanding. And then when it's time to do the project, I can do it much faster because I've already like worked it through my mind. And like for him, he just doesn't operate that way. So it's like, he doesn't get it. So I encourage you, if you do not have ADHD, but you have someone in your life that does, really to find out like a little bit more about how it works, because it can be really difficult for someone in your life who has it to be held to a standard or an understanding of someone who doesn't. Our brains just are not the same. Period. Point blank. I love this, but it feels a little long. Just a tiny bit, because I like to really accentuate how my eyes are. I like how this is graduated though. See how it's like shorter towards the front and then it gets longer towards this end and like wings out. I'm actually going to clip off this end just so I still have that graduation there. See how they're in like little clusters, right? I'm actually going to clip off 2 clusters, 1, 2, and that's how you can get them more even when you're doing this on both, is like to count the clusters. So I'm going to count 1, 2 and clip right there. And then on the other one, I'll clip 2. Right now I'm using this Kiss strip adhesive in black because that way I don't have to like really worry about it being dry before I can film, because when you use white, you know, it dries clear, but there's that time frame when you have this like white gook on your eye. You know, for someone who films a lot, I can't be like screwing around with that. So if you have someone in your life, just try to find out a little bit more about, you know, the ADHD brain, what type of ADHD they have. There are different types. Like, you know, if you think they're procrastinating and, you know, they're organizing this and that. So just maybe ask the questions. And I know it can be difficult. I feel like sometimes it's difficult for my partner because he is very type A, very like, this is the day I'm running errands, so I'm running all the errands. This is the day that, you know, he's a Scorpio. It's just like, you know, this is done this way. This is procedure. Like, he's just very like that, which is awesome. But I'm a Pisces, and I'm very a Pisces. Like, especially for creative things, like I have to be in the mood. That's why I like bulk film. There's times when I don't film for like months at a time, but because so don't do what I just did. See, I got that glue underneath, but it can rub off when nothing's glued to it once it's dried. So just let it dry, keep on going, and then we can rub it off. I only push up on my lash once I know it's starting to stick, because if not, you can actually like glue it back to your eye. Like, this one's just not ready. At the end of the day, like, I just don't think he's ever gonna like get me or like understand, because his mind just does not go that way. Totally fine, but mine does. Him and I have been living separate for quite a while, in separate cities, sort of. Like, we would go back and forth, but there'd be a lot of times where we wouldn't spend time together. Not spend time together, but we'd be in different cities because of his work, and we live in a very snowy area, and sometimes it's just like physically we couldn't get to each other because we were snowed in or snowed out or whatever. All right, I rubbed off most of it, so I'm just gonna go back over with the same brush. I do want a little like more pop. Maybe I don't need more pop in the inner corner. I feel like it just makes my eyes look bright, and especially if I wear anything dark. So this is where I always want to wear a darker lip, but I'm like, I have a lot going on in my eyes. Is it going to be too much? I'm going to try first this Luxe Lip Gloss by ColourPop in the color Biscotti. So it's like colored, but it is lip gloss. And let's see what that's like. But I really feel like I'm going to end up putting a liquid lipstick. I don't hate that. It's giving me some color. I actually thought I was going to go over it with like a liquid lipstick. Okay, so this is the final look. I'm actually going to put on my wig and do a video on that. So I'm going to come back and be like fully done, and then we will have our final thoughts on productive procrastination. Okay, so I have my wig on. I am wearing Estetica's Mackenzie in the color R14/8. I'm loving this. I'm gonna end up putting her up and doing a little do, but I just wanted to quickly come back so that I don't forget my final thoughts about productive procrastination. So the last thing that I really like about productive procrastination is guilt. I think it helps relieve some of the guilt that people have when they think that they're procrastinating, because they're actually getting something done. And so for someone with ADHD, we have a lot of guilt because we're not doing things in the time frame or in the way, or, you know, fast enough or slow enough for people. And so it's really cool that you can do procrastination in a way that actually helps relieve your guilt, because you're like, okay, well, I'm doing 20 tasks that are going to be helpful to me. I know I'm not going to do the task that I need to do right now. I just know that. I'm going to accept it, and I'm going to put in its place something else that will leave space and create room and space for me to then do that task that I need to do later, usually at the last minute. And I'm going to clear out anything else that might hinder that. So what are your thoughts on this topic? Do you want me to do more about ADHD, mental health, what have you? I can do that. If you haven't subscribed, why not? And if you have, thank you so much. I'll see you in my next video. Look down below this video for any links of whatever I'm using or anything I've talked about. And I'll see you soon. Bye.